today I kind of wanted to dive into how to build a computer. So, your first step is going to be define the purpose of your computer. So, if you want to build a computer, you got to, is it for gaming? Is it for work? Is it for school? Something like that. That'll help you set a budget. Next, you're going to want to look at your components. So over here, you kind of have your parts of the computer. You're going to want to ensure your compatibility between your CPU, your motherboard, RAM, GPU, storage, and power. All of those are kind of important aspects of your computer. So budgeting, how do you set a budget? Well, again, that depends on the purpose of your computer. So if it's for gaming or something like that, you're probably going to have a higher budget than if it was for work or something like that. Where do you buy parts? So parts you can buy pretty much anywhere. You can buy them online, you can buy them at a local retailer. Here we have something like Best Buy in town that you'll buy parts at usually, but anything like Amazon, just make sure they have good reviews if you're buying from someone. Amazon, eBay, something like that usually will work. So, your assembly process. You're going to want to prepare a workspace, you're going to want to have the proper equipment, and you're going to want to have a clean workspace. You're going to need screwdrivers and wrist strap. So, you're going to install your CPU onto your motherboard. Your CPU is what that guy's holding. It's this little silver square or gold. And you're going to insert it into the middle of your motherboard. Then you're going to release the hatch. That's that little latch right there. And you're going to bring your cover down. And you're going to pull the latch down. And then your CPU will be securely in place on your motherboard. And again, the motherboard, actually I haven't said this yet, the motherboard is the main part of your computer. That's why it's called motherboard. So this is kind of your center where everything will mostly go. So then you're going to insert your RAM into your motherboard slots. The RAM are these like usually 2 or 3 small sticks that you'll see, and there will be a bunch of vertical slots on your motherboard that you'll put those into. So when you take your RAM, you're going to want to push down hard into these slots, and there will be little latches on the side. You'll hear 2 small clicks when they're fully in there. Then you're going to want to secure your motherboard in your case. Usually they'll have 4 or 6 screws that will line up with your case. So you'll just screw that in there. Then you're going to install your graphics card in the PCLE slot. So your graphics card will have a little vertical plug kind of looking thing on the side of it, and then there will be a vertical looking thing. That's your PCLE slot. You're going to plug that into your motherboard, and then there will be a slot latch on the right side of it, and you're going to pull that up in an upward way. Then you're going to connect your storage drives to your SATA ports. So that's going to be on your hard drive. So you can see there's the SATA power and data. So here's the power, here's the data core, there and there. We don't have to worry, we're actually going to talk about the PATA power right now. So that's your power supply. And that kind of depends on your computer. So over there, that CPU has an 8+4 pin connector. This one has a 24 pin connector. You have to buy your power supply based on what connector your motherboard has. So this one has a 24 pin connector. You would have to have a motherboard with a 24 pin connector. This one has an 8+4. So this one wouldn't work for it. Okay, so you should now be able to start up your computer. Make sure on first boot your fans are working, because if they aren't, you have a big problem. And there should be this thing called your BIOS. So your BIOS depends on what graphics card you have. So this one here is an MSI. So MSI BIOS, so you can have something like an AMD card or a Ryzen card, and they will have different BIOSes depending on which card you have. And then you can just configure your settings through that. So how do you set up the BIOS? You don't really have to set anything up. It will just be there on boot up. And what BIOS should you use? Well, that depends on what graphics card you have. Operating system. So usually your operating system, that's your Windows, your Linux, your Mac OS. So your Mac right there, that'll have an Apple OS. But usually if you're building a computer, you'll have a Windows guess that's it. Again, I encourage all of you, if you if you want to build a computer, or if you want to buy a computer, try building your own. It's a really good experience. It's fun. It's nice if you have the budget. Thank you guys so much for listening.